Welcome back, everyone. Matt McClusky here with you, Matt McSports Fix, as we bring you into the studio. And we have a big show here for you today. We're going to catch up with Watertown Red and Black head coach George Ashcraft. We'll talk with Coach about the team, players coming, players going, the upcoming season, and a special event that the team was at over the weekend. Plus, we'll have highlights of past MMA events because we're going to preview another MMA event that's coming to the fairgrounds this weekend. Big show ahead, but we're going to start, like we usually do, with local sports, specifically Frontier League lacrosse. Big developments in both boys and girls games this weekend. Starting with boys, because this one was a major upset. IHC and Carthage playing in town here locally in Watertown, and the Comets ended up losing to the Cavaliers earlier this week. And it wasn't just a loss. IHC hammered Carthage 12-3. A very surprising development because Carthage had not lost a league game in 2 years. IHC, conversely, is kind of having one of those up and down seasons. You'll see some of the scores scrolling here as we talk about it. But that game earlier this week, it's big because Carthage obviously loses a game it doesn't normally lose, and it opens up the Frontier League in a way that it hasn't been in a long time. Watertown is the benefactor of that loss by Carthage. It's the Cyclones and the Comets now at the top of the Frontier League division standings. A lot of people thought that was the way it was going to go this season before everything got going, but Carthage just started steamrolling teams again. Watertown looks good, but Carthage looked that much better. Now with that loss to IHC, Carthage looks more vulnerable, and it does again open up things for the Cyclones. Very big development in Watertown earlier this week. We'll keep an eye on what happens from this point forward because Watertown and Carthage will play one more time guaranteed and likely will play in the Frontier League playoffs as well. Big development, should be a lot of fun, opens things up for boys lacrosse. Girls lacrosse, conversely, has been wide open all season, and it stays that way. Earlier this week, Watertown went to Carthage and beat the Comets. That keeps the Cyclones atop the Frontier League, along with General Brown and South Jeff. So that's a 3-team race in Frontier League girls lacrosse, and that's something that we rarely see here. It's usually Watertown or Carthage that has a dominant season, but now, given the rise of the Lions and the Spartans, for that matter, a lot of talent, a lot of great coaching, players like Morgan Alexander, Morgan Girardi, Brianna Fazio, the list goes on and on. Girls lacrosse has been wide open, and it continues to be wide open. It'll be a fun couple of weeks before we hit sectional play to see who actually finishes on top. And back to boys lacrosse, it's probably still Carthage's game to lose here, theoretically, but Watertown's back in that mix. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot of good lacrosse ahead of us over the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, turning to baseball and softball, we got some games in this week. Not a lot, and you'll see some of the scores scrolling here in front of us now. But rain, it just won't stop. So now baseball and softball are really behind the 8 ball because sectional play is coming in basically 3 weeks. Frontier League, all these teams, they have to get their games completed before you can hit sectional play. And given the rainouts and given the forecast ahead of us, that is going to be a really tricky situation. So that's something to watch, at least in terms of boys or baseball and softball. Lacrosse, though, rain or shine, they'll get those games in, and we will have it covered here for you. Now, upcoming, we'll have a commercial break. We'll be back, and we'll talk football. Hard to believe we're going to do that already, but locally, the summer means hopefully good weather, and it means football, and it means red and black. We'll talk with Coach Ashcraft coming up after this commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Matt Mick Sports Fix. It's spring, but it might as well be fall here locally. Red and black football, it's right around the corner. And we were able to catch up with Coach George Ashcraft to talk to him about the team and about the Heart Walk, a special event that was in town just last week. We'll catch up with Coach here in a second. We'll talk with him about the team, some of the players to look out for, the EFL, and of course that Heart Walk and what it means to him and the team. That's all here. We caught up with Coach earlier this week.
For about 10 years now, we've worked with the American Heart Association, to kick off their big fundraiser down at the fairgrounds every year. And this year, again, we had around 60 people total walking in the Heart Walk. We help out, set up, tear down, do whatever they ask of us during the event. I think it's one of the big things locally that is nice to be a part of. They treat us good, and in return we donate some money to them. Every player donates money to it, and it's just a great cause to kick off our season, because once that's over in the morning, by noon or so, we're back in the locker room. Everybody's getting on a practice jersey and their cleats, and we have our first football practice of the year. Yeah, we have a practice from now till the middle of June. On the June 21st date, we're bringing in a team from the Connecticut area, the West Connecticut Militia. They're a very formidable team. They've got, this will be their 5th year of operation. They've got a 42-5 record coming in. And right now I've got 80-some people signed up. Today we should have anywhere from 45 to 60 people at practice, because that's how many came to the Heart Walk and whatnot. Some of them have to leave to go to work, and some are coming in later because they were working in the morning. So, it's a catch-22 when it comes to people coming and going for practicing. Yeah, definitely. Every year, we get, like I say, 80 to 120 contracts for people signing up to play. Now, then it's, again, to show up this first week or so without pads on. Anybody can do that. June 21st is our first day. Anytime anybody wants to stop down to watch a practice, we practice Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 to 9, right out front on Coffeen Street at the Alex Duffy Fairgrounds, and we welcome people to come watch. Sit back and see what this team's really all about. We've got a new look this year. We had the helmets all painted, with the two-tone red into the black, and it really looks sharp. I think that alone will add another new look to the team, and the guys feel real good about it, and if they're feeling good, we shouldn't have a problem. We should win a lot of ball games.
And our thanks to Coach Ashcraft for stopping by and talking with us about that Heart Walk and about the team and the EFL. It's May, but the season's actually right around the corner. Preseason will be at the fairgrounds in about early midsummer, and the kickoff to the EFL season will be officially in August. So make sure you get down there and check out Coach and the team, an EFL tradition, oldest semi-professional team in the world, right here in our backyard. Thank you again to Coach. We'll hit a commercial break here, and we'll come back. We'll talk MMA right at the fairgrounds. We'll have a preview of that up next. Big plans for the weekend? If not, or if you do, change them, because MMA will be back in town. Mixed martial arts. Not professional, which is still illegal here in the state, but amateur-wise, it's perfectly legal, and it's always a great time. The event will actually take place Saturday. Gates open at 5 at the Watertown Fairgrounds. Action will follow shortly thereafter. And if you can't get down to see these great fighters from not just here, but all over the area, then log on to newvisions.com. Live stream will be taking place showcasing these great athletes, not fighters, but athletes, and they will be demonstrating their skills all night long at the fairgrounds. I recommend getting there. If you can't, of course, newvisions.com will have the feed for you, and you can see the footage that we actually shot at a prior event. It's always a big deal at the fairgrounds, always a lot of people, and it's just a fantastic time, especially here in the North Country. It's May, but we still have that bad weather, rain, cold, reasons not to get out of your house. MMA at the fairgrounds is a reason to get out of your house. Professionally, it's still illegal. That's a battle that will rage on for probably ever. I don't know, one way or another, but it's not going away soon. Amateur is legal. Get down, check it out, have a good time at the fairgrounds. Now, we will take a commercial break. We'll come back and put a bow on this edition of Matt McSports Fix. Time to put the finishing touches on this week's edition. I certainly want to thank head coach, the Watertown Red and Black, George Ashcraft, all the mixed martial arts fighters that we showed you in highlights before, and make sure you get down to the fairgrounds on Saturday to check them out. And also, don't forget Frontier League action all weekend, all week long. We'll have a recap next week. Hopefully the weather stays at least somewhat dry so we can get some baseball and softball action in, but we will have it all covered here for you. And if you want us to cover something else specific, let us know. Email us. Specifically, email me. I'm lonely. I want to hear from you. You can see the email on your screen right now. It's mattmcsportsfix@yahoo.com. We want to put a spotlight on all of these teams, players, coaches, communities in the North Country, and there's only one way to do that, really, and that's if you help us out. Some of the stories we'll miss, we don't know. You can help us out with that. Also want to thank newvisions.com for allowing us to do this each and every week. And of course, I want to thank you for logging on. We will be back with next week's show. As I said, Frontier League updates. Again, baseball, softball, watch the weather. That's going to be a really big story as we get closer to sectional play. And with girls and boys lacrosse, action is heating up. Plenty to talk about. And the Rams, how about some baseball? We had football on this edition. Baseball shortly thereafter as well. It's May, June, they actually get going at the fairgrounds. We'll talk, I'm sure, a lot of Rams coming up here each and every week. But do let us know what you want. That's what we're here for. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Matt McClusky. This has been another edition of Matt Mick Sports Fix right here on newvisions.com.